Brexit is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what, well, shitty flavour you're gonna get next. Oh. And something we don't talk enough about is the chemicals. Chemicals are in everything. Although I have made 2 videos on this before. And they didn't perform very well, no. And this one probably won't either. But we have to understand one thing. Chemicals are in everything. From plastics through to your washing up liquid. Now since Brexit, you know, when our load of numpties put that cross in the wrong box, ripping the United Kingdom out of the European Union. But also EU REACH, which is the chemical database in the European Union, for which the United Kingdom, well, played a part. Quite a major part, actually, in building up that database. But what did we do? We walked away from it, we did. Leaving ourselves vulnerable to, well, EU law. But also to every other country's laws. We can't export. So many products that we produce can no longer be exported out of the United Kingdom. Because although, yes, we rolled over all these laws into British law, into the statute books, they're not recognised by other countries, no. Just because you're saying you're abiding by EU REACH or you haven't scrapped it yet, it don't mean to say that you are covered by EU REACH. For that to be the case, you would have to be, well, accepting of the European Court of Justice. But no, in our wisdom, we decided just to roll it over into the British statute books, causing a huge amount of problems. And the government knows there's a problem because they keep kicking that can down the road. After all, if what I was saying was not true, why did they kick can down the road? They keep doing it. Well, you can't just say that you're one thing when you've got nothing to back it up. No. So no EU REACH laws really apply to the UK. They don't have access to the databases. No. There are some things that have, you know, they've got access to, or they've got some, well, mutual ownership of. But on the whole, all those databases that have been updated for the last 40 odd years, including new chemical compounds, etc., well, they're gone. We don't have access. No. So we can say what we like while we're selling stuff within the United Kingdom, putting British people at risk, to be frank. But what happens when we finally get rid of all of the EU laws, as Jacob Rees-Mogg is telling us, and as Liz Truss is telling us, as Rishi Sunak is telling us? Yes, they say they're going to scrap all the EU laws that are brought into statute books, all 2,400 of them by 2024. And EU, well, REACH is one of them, but also the UK CA mark, which is going to replace the CE mark. You know, the safety mark. But that's another story. That'll be a different video. I want to talk about chemicals. Yes. Show you how the chemistry set. It's fun, isn't it? Well, the chemical sectors also, they're likely to face a £2 billion hit. Because this government, what they like to do, they like to put the pressure on the industry to sort it all out for the government. Because the government wants, yeah, there's no deal Brexit. Screwing industry as a whole. So that's £2 billion they've got to find. Now, when it was first announced, the industry expected it was going to cost around £1 billion. Yeah, to get all the databases in order. Some of this stuff is going to take decades. It's taken a very, very long time to get the largest chemical database in the world, which is EU REACH. And some countries actually have access to it because they're accepting of EU laws. Now, for us to export many goods abroad, even, for instance, well, the United States, they already accept EU REACH. In fact, when they want to export, they encompass EU REACH into their rules, and they get all the data. Like the UK CA mark is useless, but you've got the CE mark. As far as the United States is concerned, they'll abide by that, so then they can export into the EU. But not the United Kingdom. They want to scrap all the rules and all the laws so they don't have to abide by them. So apparently it will open up the markets and put you at risk. And everybody else. But it won't open up the markets. That's just blah, 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 blah. How is it going to open up the markets to the biggest markets? Because they have laws. Maybe to India. Maybe Russia even. Maybe. Well, to China. No, probably not. Because they're going to have their own set of rules. So, yes, it's true. The chemical sector faces a $2 billion hit of post-Brexit red tape. Now, twice the cost of initial industry estimates. As Britain sets up its own regulatory regime. Now, that's what the ministers have warned. This is absolute madness. And it's pretty much just because they do not want to have any jurisdiction by the European Court of Justice. They don't want to have any access. That's why we didn't get memorandums of standards. For the financial sectors. And now we've got this as well. And although they keep kicking the can down the road, no one's really talking about it apart from the industry itself. They're concerned. Now they're worried that, okay then, we can invest into the UK reach, building up our own databases for the United Kingdom, and then that can gets kicked down the road yet again, and yet they've invested £2 billion. They don't trust this government, and why would they? Just like the port in Portsmouth, they built a £25 million customs processing building and what have you, £25 million, and now it's empty, and it's still costing them money. Yeah. So they don't trust this government. And why would the chemical industries too? There isn't just one individual body, no. It'll be in a mass of different organisations that will need to build up these databases for the UK REACH system. Now that's all very well. But what it's going to mean is that many chemicals that have already been tested are going to have to be tested again. Which takes time. You can't build up a database of chemicals overnight. No. So this thing by 2024 we're going to get rid of all EU laws is, well, frankly, for the birds. They are lying to you again. It's total and utter bollocks. Sorry, I'll say it as I see it. Well, now while Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak have promised to axe all this EU red tape during the Tory leadership campaign, the cost of homegrown British red tape after Brexit is mounting. Now the red tape that we were a part of, we had access to, was the EU REACH, while we were a member of the European Union. Just calling it EU REACH now doesn't mean to say it's governed by EU REACH. No. It's just talk. And you know what talk is? Talk is cheap. No. Sad thing is, with all this retesting of chemicals, it would unfortunately cause the necessity to test on animals. Now, in the European Union, the testing on animals is banned for cosmetics and some domestic chemicals. Whereas it isn't banned yet for pharmaceuticals and what have you, in medicines and stuff. They're still being tested on animals, unfortunately. But the rule is basically, if there is a way of testing on without testing on animals, they must pursue that. If there isn't, sadly, animals are still getting tested on. That's in the EU. And the UK was doing that as well, like Huntington Life Sciences and places like that in the UK, the Cambridge. Now, the United Kingdom's got no access now to any of that data, or very limited amount of access. And but not to everything as a whole, so they're going to have to retest on animals. So animals are going to have to suffer all over again. Now, as somebody who loves animals, I've got dogs and what have you, the idea of testing on animals really pisses me off. Yeah. Can we just test on the Tory instead? Maybe we can have a petition. They wanted all this crap, and now they need to, lay in it and have cosmetics dripped in their eyes and stuff. Lovely. And give them other, fatal illnesses that they do to the monkeys. Not pleasant, is it? Now, a government impact assessment seen by the Financial Times has put the central estimate for the costs of registering chemicals on a new UK database, and it's duplicating existing registrations with the EU, and it's going to cost around £2 billion at the moment. That's what they're estimating. Well, a year ago they estimated a £1 billion, so I think that's probably going to be £4 billion or £6 billion, or who knows. It's going to cost an absolute fortune. But the biggest cost is obviously those who could be suffering and essentially little animals. Well, the chemicals industry warned last year that the new regime, known as UK REACH, was going to cost about £1 billion, but the government now accepts that many more substances will have to be registered than previously thought. They got no access. No. They were still trying to negotiate access. And they stuck the finger up, the government did. They stuck the finger up to not to no, that's to the government. Yeah, they stuck. Yeah, oh, well, you know what I mean. Stuck the finger up to the EU and said, no, we don't have anything to do with the European Court of the European Court of Justice. No, because everything has to be litigated. There's litigation involved, and the European Union will not allow it to be done in a foreign court. Why would they? Imagine with the chemical industry, there's always something, isn't there? There's always somebody trying to, like glyphosate, for instance. Glyphosate 360 out there, the weed killer. There's always some litigation somewhere. But anyway, the British regime would be far more costly than the EU REACH system. Now, UK companies spent $500 million complying with the Brussels regime over the previous... I hate it when they say the Brussels regime. I really hate that. It's trying to demean the fact that it's a democracy and the fact that it's 27 member states that have a say. It's just that the Commission's in Brussels. Why can't I say complying with European Commission located in Brussels or something? Anyway, all it does, it fires up the old racists and the Brextards out there. The morons who put the cross in the wrong box and cause this kind of flippin' madness. Well, complying with the regime over the previous decade, winning access to 27 markets. That's the thing, you see. We have no access with our chemical industries. And don't forget, chemicals are not just, well, in your shampoo. No, and your washing up liquid and your bleach and God knows what else. It's in everything. There's chemicals in this mobile phone, for instance. There's chemicals used in, well, the packaging of food. There's chemicals in the packaging itself. And we've lost access to it, to that data. So yes, we can say what we like internally and say all very well if you want to be insular. But how is a country's economy supposed to grow when you can't bring in external money? No. It stagnates. You have a recession. That's what happens, because you're circulating the same money. Well, the Department of Environment and Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, run by George Eustace, said it is working closely with the sector, which is probably bollocks, and NGO, non-government organisations, to find a lower-cost solution for the UK REACH registration, which still ensures high levels of protection for human health and the environment. Well, testing is testing, and testing is not cheap. No. There's a lot of wonga to be made. So yes, you could say all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. It means nothing. It's totally and utterly empty. So like I say, it's not just, chemicals. We talk about chemicals, we think things in test tubes, don't we? We don't think about all the domestic chemicals that we use on a daily basis. Well, DEFRA Impact Assessment implied a £91,000 bill for each substance registered. 91,000, under UK REACH, and that 22,400 distinct substances would fall into the scope of the regime. And don't forget, it's not just each individual substance, which they fail to point out here. It's also about how certain substances react to each other. So there'll be combinations of them. So that figure there could go through the roof. absolutely go through the roof. The ministers are planning to extend the deadline for registering with UK Reach to spread the cost. So they'll kick the can down the road, but like I say, it still doesn't help us export. The government has pushed back the requirements for full data sets at least 2 years until October 2025. That's the same year where we're going to lose Euro clearing. Yeah, that's going to cost us, isn't it, as well? So it's frustrating and it's just total madness. So yes, the new UK Reach regime has pitted ministers against each other swathe of, well, against a broad swathe of manufacturing and amongst each other, from chemical companies to their customers in sectors such as cars, aerospace, food and drink, steel and perfume, and the rest. It's madness. This single thing could cost the United Kingdom no more than £2 billion to industry. But the loss of exports. Because even once we've got our UK reach, and maybe it's all tickety-boo, maybe it miraculously this unicorn turns up, and we've got this brand new UK reach system, and it's all hunky-dory, it is. It's working like a treat, that it is. Yeah. But it's only good for the UK. It will be a very long time before it will ever be accepted with any, by any other country, such as a group of 27 countries, such as the EU. They certainly will drag their heels because they've got no control and there's nowhere. They're going to want some kind of guarantees. They're going to need to be able to trust it. And that comes with precedence, that comes with time. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's the idea that the UK reach system is going to replace EU reach and allow us to export these chemicals without problems. It's for the birds. So you know what industry will do? Industry will pack up and ship out. And we'll lose more business to the EU. It is their biggest market. Look at Unilever, for instance. You know, they're cutting products out of the UK left, right and centre. For similar reasons. They don't know where they stand. They really don't. It's absolute madness. So the Chemical Industries Association said it wanted to see a robust regulation, but mass and unnecessary re-registering does not equal higher safety standards and health, just unequal to the EU standards. From when we will remember, you know, the good old days. Was it really that bad in the EU? I just don't understand it. Everything was going quite well. Yes, we had our ups and downs. Parts of the European Union that didn't quite work for the United Kingdom. What fix was broken? Don't jump off the cliff. Makes no sense. Not at all. Now, while Sunak, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, and Truss, Foreign Secretary, oh God, they may have promised to review all these retained EU laws and scrap excessively onerous rules, replacing it with British regulation, because we're British and we're special, apparently. Oh,
Kipper.
Okay. Well, it's likely to prove extremely costly and disruptive. I just can't believe half this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just madness. Total madness. And before we go, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Helps the channel, you know. And, oh gosh, so the unicorn benefits of Brexit have yet to materialise 6 years after the Leave vote. While new border controls, failed technology, such as the CDS system and the chief systems for exports, for the lorry drivers and what have you, have hampered trade and have been blamed now for contributing to the travel chaos at the port of Dover. Well, the chemical industry, believe you me, is going to be a complete and utter disaster. It's not going to cause coups because you're not going to get anything out. This is madness. Now, it was all very well rolling over at the time and bringing the EU reach into UK law, into the statute books, which they want to get rid of now. But you still don't have access to the data. So if you've got any problems, all you need to do, you can't develop anything. All you can do is what you've already got. It's going to be very difficult to expand. Not going to say. No wonder industry is moving into the EU. You can't blame them. You really cannot blame them. This is total and utter, well, madness. Is bonkers. But that is Brexit for you. It's not based on logic. It's based on a, well, it's like a passion, I suppose. I just want my Brexit. That's it. That's all they want. Plonkers. Yeah. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, eh? Yeah, thank you for that. And then we got... Oh. They're just going to push it as well. They're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And pushing the United Kingdom further and further away from the European Union and any kind of regulatory standards from the European Union. Pushing the United Kingdom further down that slippery old slope to oblivion. The British government, nor Labour, if they get in the way they're talking at the moment, are doing anything or suggesting anything that could actually pull the United Kingdom back into, well, profit. You know, have a decent GDP. We're bleeding dry here. And then we've got flipping what money we are making has been exported. So you get very little reinvestment in the UK. They talk about investment, don't they? They go on about investment in the UK. We had all this investment. They don't tell you about all the money that's been bled out. The money that gets invested in the UK, and a lot of it ends up in asset holding companies. Doesn't help the tax coffers, no. Doesn't go there. It goes into their back pockets tax free. It's just, well, it's painful. It's really, really painful. Oh. Oh, God. I sigh, I do. I sigh. It's just madness. I just feel like we've got loads of bloody sharks surrounding us. Waiting to bite us in the flipping ass. And unfortunately, the sharks are in our own government. Blimey. Anyway, you tell me what you think. Please leave it in the comments down below. And please, please, please click like and subscribe. And maybe that little bell icon, because then you get one plus feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video. This is madness. Absolute flipping madness. Oh, please, please, please comment down below. You know, what do you feel? How do you feel about this? Because obviously we've got the UK reach, we've got the UK CE mark replacing the CE mark. You know, safety marks as well. It's all about public safety, including this. It's all about public safety. And it surrounds us. We have to live amongst this all the time, around chemical database. You know, it's data, it's information, it's knowledge. Understanding what you're dealing with. All it's going to do is push industry abroad. Crikey. Oh.
Welcome to the Brexit, sir. I'm sorry.
Probably.
Oh my God.
Maybe. I don't know. Ta-ta. Oh, crikey. Oh, God, whatever next.